Hey folks, this is Nod, and we're playing Space Engineers. Last episode I was mining some gold with a robotic arm and some rotors and a piston and a sensor to control the pistons, and it was all very cool. But at the end of that video I went about doing some manual mining in my little rather ugly looking rig here, and kind of wanted to show a couple of things I've picked up about doing manual mining in like ships, asteroid mining in like small mining ships like this one. This is like the mining mothership, which is basically just an excuse to haul a large container around for hauling my ore. I guess the idea is when you're out mining in these small mining ships on an asteroid, you don't want to have to keep going all the way back to the base every time you get full, so you offload onto this mothership. So anyway, let's not babble about that too much. Let's get to the mining, and I'll show you a couple of cool things I picked up along the way. So hop in here. Okay, power up the ship. Most of my ships I have on the second hotkey bar. That's the first one, that's the second. I have a whole bunch of startup routines for turning things on and this and that. It's kind of, I don't like to leave all my stuff on my ships for various reasons. Anyway, as you can see, I got the LED display that gives me my cargo, so I know when to like come and offload, and stopping distance, which is super important for like not crashing into things, because it gives you an idea. And below that it'll show how much resources I have acquired. Like right now I've got some ice on board just so I can breathe with the O2 generator. Alright, anyway, let's get to the mining. So yeah, last time I was mining gold, and I was going to go mine some silver. This is like the next day though, so I did that. But I need to mine some magnesium. I'd like to do that today, so I got a deposit down here I'm kind of eyeing. So I've already done a little bit of mining here, but I thought I'd make a video of this because it's kind of a thing. So you've probably all seen like using this sort of ship to mine. It's not a big deal. It's just a bunch of drills and I got some bunch of thrusters on the rear there, and yeah, that's not a big deal. So we'll turn that on. There's a few ways you can operate the drills. I noticed you can alright, if I press this 2 button, the drills become active. Left click turns them on, right click it does the right click mining, which is cool. But what I've actually done is I've made a group of the drills, so on my number 1 hotkey I can just press 1, turns the drills on, and I don't have to keep my, it's kind of noisy, don't have to keep my left mouse button pressed down, which is kind of nice. So I can just sort of hands-free. Anyway, speaking of hands-free, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the drills, and we're going to get going and get into position here. I want to line up so I can kind of make a nice pass along this piece here. This is sort of like bore minings, where I'm basically just going to go straight once I start mining, and I'm not going to deviate. Oh, leg spike. Okay, so it's lined up pretty good. So on my hotkey bar here, number 6, I have, if you look at the back of my machine here, you see I got a couple of forward-facing thrusters back there, which are the braking thrusters. That's those there. Oh, why is it mining even though I'm not in there? That's kind of weird. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off those 2 thrusters using this hotkey. So all the other thrusters are on. I can still maneuver and do this and that, but if I tap forwards, just tap it, get going very slowly, I will now drift. I have got my hands off my keyboard, hands off my mouse. I'm just drifting very slowly forwards. I'm actually going a little too fast for this because the mining won't keep up, so I will actually impact this rock. Okay, there we go, we've hit it. Lower left of my screen, you can see the meters per second. I want to get that to around 20 to 30, 0.2 or 0.3 meters per second. 0.39, that's probably going to be a little fast. The idea is you just drift slowly forwards, and yeah, so 0.24, that's probably going to keep up with that now. So the mining ship is just ever so slowly moving forwards, and the mining is keeping up with it, so I never actually contact the rock. And it'll just keep drifting this way all the way through till it gets to the other side of the asteroid if I let it. So this is a really nice way of you know, hands-off mining. You just kind of set it up and you let it drift, and it's quite efficient. One thing I found is you do not need to ram your drills into the ore and thrust against it. Pushing hard really doesn't make any difference in this game. It's not like reality where you might drill a little faster if you hold a drill against the rock, but in this game, as long as it's within range, it's going to mine the rock. So this technique works quite well. Just drifting forwards, and as you can see, I'm mining away. Okay, get to the end here. We're about to hit the rock, which is not a problem because I have these ejectors set up, whitelisting stone, so they will actually toss out the stone once I hit it. There they go. So I'm going to hit my F6, my 6 hotkey, turn my forward-facing thrusters back on. So now I've stopped mining. So we're going to back up a bit here, probably crash into these rocks. Clonk, 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 clonk. So we're going to set up for another pass here. A lot of piloting in this game, I've noticed, is all to do with the right camera position, lining things up. Not that I'm necessarily doing a good job here, but it seems to be the thing. So I'm going to hop in the cockpit real quick. Oh, see, okay, actually I'm full. See, the cargo mass is 136%. That's not good, so actually we're going to go drop off the ore here at our little mothership here. So wow, that filled that up in one pass. So now where is my mothership? It's up here, I believe. Alright, let's tool over here. I got a connector on the front and the rear, but I'm going to use the rear. The rear one's primarily for this ship. The other one is for offloading the whole thing. So let's dock with this. Get me lined up here. Thought I was lined up. Yeah, maybe not. Alright, now the nice thing about this is this I haven't actually docked yet. As you can see, this connector's still yellow, but there's no cargo hold on this ship. It's just drills. Well, technically there's cargo space in the connector and the cockpit, but basically it's just drills. So hop in the cockpit. As soon as I hit P to connect, the drills will offload into the nearest container they can find, which happens to be in the offload ship. So it dumps all my cargo immediately in there, so I don't have to go messing around with the the inventory, this sort of nonsense. Although one problem I've noticed is it does leave stuff in my cockpit, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, I thought I'd figured out a way not to do that, but anyway, let's just drop that in there real quick. That's also not right. Okay, anyway, so we can offload easily. Sometimes I don't bother with that, but let's go make one more pass, and then I think that'll do for this mining trip. Yeah, I don't need a ton of magnesium, but it is good for defense and for making ammo and stuff, because we are getting attacked quite a bit in this game. Theory of mine, but the further away from Earth you go, it seems like the more the pirates seem to attack. I don't know, it's just a theory. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it sort of seems that way. Let's make a pass along here. Get this nub in here. In we go. It's not going to be a very efficient pass. I'm not going to use all the drills, but whatever. Alright, turn off the rear braking thrusters. And in we go. So you might have to tap the W key a couple of times to get a decent speed. Yeah, 0.35, that's probably going to work. You guys can think of a way for me to actually set a speed control, it'd be nice. I know you can do stuff with the autopilot and GPS coordinates and remote blocks and stuff, but I mean, this seems to work alright, but maybe there's a way to actually set a cruise control. Kinda nice. Alright, that's chewing up the rock pretty good. Looks like I'm going to leave a big mess up the top there, though. Oops. I hate those little jaggies. Those are the ones that you wreck your ship on later on because you don't realize they're there. They're so small. Little floating jaggies like that, and they're not actually floating. They're still part of the asteroid. And solid as can be. I've wrecked more ships than you shake a stick at on those things. Getting a little lag here. You can see my cargo filling up. Since I got about 285 magnesium. Sorry, it's kind of noisy in here, but it seems odd that the cockpit is louder than the outside view, although technically outside view it shouldn't be any noise, should it? Yeah, the ship. The only downside to not having a cargo on a ship like this, of course, is it does fill up rather fast. But interestingly, drills hold an absolute ton of ore. They're actually quite a big storage just in their own respect. So this whole no cargo mining thing does actually work pretty good, and it's not a big deal to offload to the mothership there. Alright, now we get into the rock, get that last little bit of magnesium there just because OCD. Alright, hitting the brakes, shut off the mining right now. Alright, pretty good. So let's go offload this at my station. I have an outpost out here in the asteroids, or I should say we do. I'm on a multiplayer server here, hanging out with a bunch of my friends here. Yeah, we build an ore refinery out here in the asteroid so we can process our ore before we take the ingots back to the civilization. Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong end of the ship, aren't I? That's the front. I want to dock at the back. Derp. The wrong docking port. Okay. And lock us in. Okay, shut everything down. Visors down, and off we go. I'm notorious for forgetting to put my visor down when I enter space, although I'm just as bad for forgetting to raise it up when I get in the cockpit, so I'm using up all my O2. Okay, let's head home. So, check my GPS coordinates here. Alright, we're heading to Reavers Rock base. There's actually a bit of a story behind Reavers Rock. For those of you familiar with the Firefly TV series, it was absolutely amazing. Yeah, there was these baddies called the Reavers, and they were the most feared sort of pirates in the whole Firefly universe. And somebody made a mod. I forget what it was called, but it's in the top of the screen, I'm sure. And we introduced that into this game when we were just starting to play this on the multiplayer server, and we came to this asteroid, which we're going to right now, to do some mining, and all of a sudden these Reavers appeared and just absolutely kicked our butts. So subsequently we disabled the Reavers mod because we weren't ready, clearly. But from now on this place has been known as Reavers Rock. Alright, decelerating. And as usual, the trick is not to point directly at what you're going to, because if you overshoot, bad things happen. Everyone knows that though, right? Brakes. Yeah, perfect example. I'm going to overshoot, aren't I? Stop. Stopping would be good. Alright, that's about right. Alright, so welcome to Reavers Rock, our little outpost here. Let's dock with they got different color-coded docking ports down here for various things. The white one is components and just about everything else. The green one here is for ingots that have been processed. And the one I'm interested in right now, because I'm offloading ore, is the red one, which is for ore. So one nice thing about this spaceship is I put the docking port right on the nose, so it makes docking very much easier because I can just see right there. There's my as you can see, my docking port is right there. Very easy to make it dock. Okay, and I've got sorters on this thing, so as soon as I dock up here, it'll just start pulling my ore out. So shut this shit down for a minute. Actually, we'll leave it running because it's going to take a little while to unload that. So this is Reavers Rock. Got a couple of ore large containers for holding the ore. Oh, nanites are coming out to heal me. Got a nanite. One of these nanite control factories over here. We've got these all over the place. They're brilliant. So those are the healing nanites, because I did kind of forget to put my visor down a couple of times. Alright, so we got the basically the ore comes in, goes into these 2 large containers. Here we have an array of refineries and arc furnaces. One for each type of ore. I forget exactly how many there is there, but there was some logic behind how many should be for each one. And once those are done processing, they scoot on over here and go into the ingots container, which generally gets taken off site because we don't do much building here. But if we did want to build stuff, we've got one small assembler here just for building stuff on site, and that then pumps stuff into the white container, which holds our components, which we can then get out from here. So over here we have a sort of status board, and again, I don't know if I spoke about this in my last video a little bit. This LCD script does actually use up quite a bit of resources on the server, so what we've done is set up a sensor. When I get close to it, it turns on the programmable block and the monitors, so it's not using up the server resources all the time when nobody's here looking at these boards. But anyway, this gives you an idea of, as I said, this is an ore processing station, so the green display is the biggest one. That's the one with the ore on it, which is what we're, the ingots, which is what we're sort of interested in. And you can see we're doing pretty good. The magnesium I just dropped off, 1.3 million, looks like it's offloaded. And yeah, we've got 2 refineries set up for magnesium, and those are both working right now. So the only thing that's not processing right now appears to be silicon and iron, which makes sense because we don't have any of those ores. But we've got lots of ingots, so that's all going very well. Let me show you around a little bit more here. Here we got a sort of docking bay. We got a little fighter ship here, pretty well armored. Lots of guns in there. Yeah, no turrets on that. That's just for straight-on strafing runs and stuff. And I got this was my previous mining cargo ship, I call it the Cargo Cat. It's just 4 small block large containers, and a fun little ship. It's got a couple of guns on it for protection. I haven't really been using that too much since I got this big Cargo Cat. Whoa, rubber banding. Boing. I haven't really been using that too much since I got this thing. Actually, speaking of that, let's dock this up quickly. Don't want to leave it here because somebody else, as I said, it's a multiplayer server, so other people will be using this, so I don't want to take up the offload port. So let's go dock this up where it belongs. Boing. Okay, dock that up. And shut everything down. Actually, we're going to leave the guns on because they're protection. Everything else we can turn off. Especially like turning off the antennas. Get your heads-up display cluttered with antenna noise. Okay, so that's processing my ore, which is good. Right, so it did some mining and now it's refining everything. Very good. Okay, well that's my couple of little mining tips there for asteroid mining. I hope that some of you guys found that useful. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give me a like, and if you want to leave some comments, I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching.